So welcome back to All Angles with Jack Whelan, and today our guest is recognised as one of the most famous artistic pool players to ever live. He's pushed the boundaries on what's possible on a pool table, and he's inspired hundreds of thousands, if not millions, to recreate his shots. If you've ever seen a trick shot played on social media, it's probably by this guy. He's made a career out of making impossible shots look possible, and with multiple world titles and an incredible 12 world Guinness World Records, we have no other than Florian.
Hey, how
Welcome
are
to
you,
the
man?
show. Yeah, mate, honestly, it's a privilege to have you on.
It's always funny when when you get to talk to different people that you've been following too. It's always cool. It's interesting. Yeah. It's
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you've been quite busy too, so.
Yeah, obviously, I seen you at the GBE not too
Hmm.
last month
Yeah.
in China. Obviously, that's the first time
Yeah, that's it.
I've seen you in person playing the shots, and I know it's pretty crazy to see when you're watching online, but when you see him in person, it's even more impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just like everything else, it's just about practice, right? And a lot of the time, because it's mainly online, people just like to talk a lot of crap, you know what I mean? But when it comes to do it in real life, I've been doing it for nearly 20 years now, so yeah, I can definitely do it. And it's a job, man. So it's everybody's their own job, and as much as I can't do what you guys do on the Chinese table, I can definitely do what I do well. So.
How did you first discover artistic pool? Is that what it's called, artistic pool?
Yeah, or you can call it trick shot, whatever. So
Trick
the
shot,
artistic
yeah,
pool is essentially the sport variation to
yeah,
it. But
right,
I've always said it's more like a trick shot in my opinion. But
yeah.
so I started playing when I was like 17, going 18s, and I just got this table at home, and I didn't know how to play. I had nobody playing, my family or nothing, no club, nothing really. So it was the very beginning of YouTube, and because it was the very beginning, there was like no big long tutorial on how to hold the cue and this and that, right? So you had a few trick shot videos, like 2, 3 minutes tops. So I figured I'll start learning pool, looking at those things. And about a year later, 2 years, I knew pretty much all the trick shot that I've had done in the last 100 years. So I bought the books, I bought the tapes and whatever it is, and I just consumed the whole thing. And I just learned that way, right? I really only learned proper pool like 3 or 4 years down the road after.
So do you actually play pool now, or do you just
Oh
solely
yeah.
concentrate on?
No, the difference is, I have way too much respect for everybody, the pros and whatever, and and I like to say it this way. The best example to me is like, all right, so you have the guys on a motorcycle, they can do the MotoGP stuff and they go as fast as possible, whatever, right? And then you have the guys that do the backflip. It's all on a motorcycle, but it's really a different thing. And as much as it's, the same two
Of
wheels and the
course.
same thing, general idea,
Yeah,
it's a
yeah,
completely different sport. So I pushed it so far away that it's so specialized that in order to do what I do, you need to work at it, and you can't just do both. You can, but you won't be like the best at it. That there's just no
yeah,
way.
yeah,
The reason I had to learn proper pool was mainly because at the end of the shows, sometimes you got to play challenge matches and stuff. And
yeah,
if you're just not good enough to beat, 95% of people, that's a problem, right? But
yeah,
it went quick, to be honest with you, because so after 2 or 3 years, I knew how to do follow and draw and jump and all this stuff, right? I just didn't have the position play. I didn't have the layouts and stuff. So I went to Germany. I was still living in France. I played with this guy, Martin, and he was ex-German champion, like a monster, right? He has his own pool room. And every weekend I just went there. I drove like an hour and I stayed there 10 hours and I rocked for him for 10 hours essentially because he was so good. Nobody wanted to play with the guy because he's just, such a good player that, but I didn't care. I just, and 6 months later, I knew how to run out after that. So I never really need to do any more. When I started to be really good at it, I would say. I moved to the US and I discovered everything is handicapped and this and that. So you have to learn, giving out the 5, 6, 7 out, blah blah blah. And there was no money in professional pool back then. That was it's hard to believe, but there was no, Matchroom wasn't really a thing the same way. You had the Mosconi Cup and
yeah,
that's it. I mean, the
yeah,
top guys like Mika Immonen and Thorsten, they're struggling to make a living, so
yeah,
I never needed to do it and it was never a point. Yeah, now it's like, okay, that could be interesting, but the level is so high and it's just I love what I'm doing anyway. There's no way I would have to sacrifice everything to commit, and there's just no point to it.
No, no. And obviously, like you've got a niche in the market that you've, like you say, you've excelled at, and you've gone clear really of.
Hmm.
I don't know who the. To be honest, it might be a bit disrespectful from my side of things, but I only really know you in the trick shop world. I know
Well, I'm sure,
people
I'm sure you
like
knew Mike Massey, for example, right?
of yes. Now you say
Right?
that, then yes. And there's a guy from the UK called Wayne Smith. I don't know if you know
Hmm.
him or not, but he's. I think he's actually gone to America now to do something towards trick shots. But I know he does a lot on an English pool table, which is obviously really small on the reds and yellows.
Hmm.
But he does like loads of balls with pieces of chalk everywhere, and he's just like
Yeah, yeah,
dominoes
yeah.
are running around the table and stuff. But I don't know to what extent or level he is at, but I do know he does that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it's hard to say, because in a way it's an art and it's a sport in the same time, right? And I had to earn
yeah,
my, trust me, people talk mad, mad stuff on me at the beginning, especially. But once you win a couple titles, then they really can't say much because it's a matter of finding that proper balance and being good enough at everything. I mean, I'm a decent three cushion player too, so I'm almost one average,
right,
so I could be like a low end, I don't know, pro, but I mean, it would take me years as well, right? It's just the levels nowadays are so good on everything that even if
yeah,
you have some talent or whatever, or you just driven, it's not enough, right? You got to put in the work.
definitely got to put in the work, and especially like when you look at pool, the the work is more the mental side of knowing what to do when to do it, whereas yours is literally straight execution, isn't it? Every time.
I mean, the main difference is for you guys, you learn to never miss. Me, I learned to miss actually. If I miss left, I miss right, then I miss in the middle. That's how I make the shot. I swear, it's the way I process everything, right? Because it's all about
Really?
adjustments. Yeah, for you guys, it's a completely different mindset. Is you just can never miss, and
Yeah.
it's quite different, But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's the mental aspect to it as well. What really, I think pool is one of the hardest sports mentally to. I mean, this is the only sport where you could go in a world title and not have a chance to shoot. I mean, that's crazy if you think about it, right?
Yeah.
In trick shot, I'm more in control of my destiny here, and but as far as the sports side goes, I mean, the world title and stuff is great, but people, to be honest, don't really care when you do an exhibition. They just want you to
Yeah.
entertain them, and they want to see some cool stuff.
Yeah. It's the same in the pool, really. When you win a tournament, it's like it's great on the Saturday and the Sunday, but on the Monday it's forgot about. And you
Yeah,
just the
it's
next, oh,
interesting,
we're on the
isn't it?
plane next to the next one, and it's just
Yeah.
a big conveyor belt of tournaments, really. So when did you realise that you could compete at a world class level? I know you said like it took you 3 or 4 years to get to sort of where you
Um,
wanted to be.
I mean, so I think I moved. Yeah, so I started like 17, 18. By 20, I went to the US to do first tournament. Got absolutely smashed,
Yeah.
but I didn't have any cues. I had like it was really like I had no idea, right? I came back the
Hmm.
year later and I won that event. So I'm like, that there's definitely something. In the meantime, I had a couple of videos that are starting to go viral already. So I was starting to travel, do TV shows, do stuff like that. And I'm like, man, there might be something to do because there was a few guys doing it, but not a ton, and especially not in Europe, right? And then
Hmm.
yeah, by 22 something, I finished my degree. Told my parents, that I'm an optometrist by trade, and I was like, this is boring. I started working. I hated it, and I was like, give me 6 months. I'll go to the U.S. and if I can make it, great. If I can't, then I'll come back anyway. I have everything ready to go. Yeah, 6 months later, I made it
Yep.
work. That's it. I had to make it work. There was no way. My pride wouldn't let me, and it was not pretty at the beginning. When you moved, I had no money. It was me and
Yeah.
nothing. So I just like had like four roommates, and it was just brutal. Do all the small tournaments in the bars, trying to get a few things here and there, some shows, some sponsors, just scrapping bits together. It was a tough time too for pool back then. So there was definitely not a lot of money, but little
Yeah.
by little.
Sorry about the technical difficulties, but
Yeah, I
yeah.
think it might be my fault here.
So
Yeah,
when
move to the US, right? It was like
yeah,
500 bucks, whatever. Try to make it work any way you can and just scrap bits together. And little by little, it just kind of worked. And what really made a big change for me was the league in the US, like APA, the amateur leagues.
I
And I
was
was
about
able
to
to get
touch on
little
that later
shows.
because you're with
Yeah,
them, aren't you?
what's up?
Are you sponsored by them?
Yeah, yeah, and that was like my first really. It wasn't even the big sponsor in term of like, money wise, but it gave me access to the network of people that were actually able
Yeah.
to book and complete game
Yeah.
changer. And from there, you go from trying to survive to actually being able to live, and it's a big difference.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So whereabouts did you move to in America?
So first I moved to LA, then I realized it's too expensive and too complicated. Sometimes it takes you 4 hours to get to the airport, sometimes 40 minutes. So, and then
Right.
moved to Vegas the year, not even a year later, and been there ever since.
So you live in Vegas now?
Yep, yep.
Oh, amazing. Brilliant. Yeah, I went to Vegas on holiday, obviously on holiday, other side of COVID, but I'd never have said that there was like a pool, like playing community there. Is there
Yeah,
any
no,
big
it's
clubs there?
they do everything to be honest, right? It's Vegas just a
Right.
bit, but we do have a lot of pool. I mean, there's a few pool rooms, some major ones too, and right now
Do
also
you ever go
have
to the
the.
pool rooms, or do you just sort yourself out from? Obviously, you've got a table in your house at what people see online and stuff.
So it depends, right? Because I also own the AP Las Vegas now. So now I have a
Okay.
thousand player that play pool every week. So I'm in pool room every weekend essentially. But as far
Right.
as for me, for my stuff, now I need to practice at home. That just first off the material and stuff, and it just doesn't really make sense. I need to be quiet and actually focused and
Focused on
yeah,
what you're doing.
yeah.
Yeah. So when when you say like you practice at home, how long would you practice for on a daily or a weekly basis? How many hours would it be?
I mean, back in the days, I mean, I was completely taking it like a job. That's an 8 hour day every day for, maybe 5, 7 years, in a row. There was no joke. Like I was completely obsessed with it. Nowadays, I mean, I try to get at least 20 hours a week, I would say.
You
But I
know.
mean, like yesterday, I put, 8 p.m., 2 a.m. or something like that. Or so,
Yeah.
it's
I
it's
suppose
not
when you
bad.
get like
I still
stuck
play.
into one thing,
What's
do
that?
you have to? Are you that sort of person that when you get stuck into one shot, if you can't get it, you just keep on going and going and going?
Um, to an
Or is it one of
extent.
them where you step away from it because you don't want it to frustrate you too much?
To an extent, I mean, I'm very stupid. It's stupidity. So it's commitment and stupidity, I would say. So if I know it's possible, yeah, there's almost no limit to how long it would take me to do it. If I know it's just too much luck or something like that, it's a different story. But I've had shots that I invented, I would say, on paper, 15 years ago that I finally got now, right? That just a bit in the book that just something was missing, either the equipment, either me, either never got lucky for it. It's
Hmm.
important to know the various degree of luck, right, in some of the shots. So if you
Of
got to get
course, yeah.
lucky, sometimes nothing you can do.
Yeah. What was your first viral trick shot, and how did it change things for you?
Um, I mean, I've had a few decent numbers on the stuff from France directly, in the millions, but like nothing, I would say, extremely viral. The first viral thing was the first DVD. So at I want to say like around 1920, yeah, same thing. So there's this guy that produced pool videos back then, pool DVDs. He saw the videos and he loved it. He's like, I'm gonna do the best trick shot video possible, right? So he flies me there to Canada. He put all his money in really that he had. I put some whatever on my thing. We create this piece of. I think it was one. It was probably the best pool DVD as far for trick shot goes, right? Quality, the shots, everything's looking nice and clean. So we're thinking, sweet, we're gonna sell a bunch. After a week later, this thing got ripped in online, and somebody in China posted it, and I think in a month, 100 million people saw it for free.
Oh God.
So, so that was the welcome to the industry for me. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. So then you're thinking, how much money you missed and all this stuff, but really, there's no way 100 million people would have bought a pool DVD. But
Mhm.
in a way, it kind of launched me. And I
Yeah.
realized that from there on, there's no point in trying to create content that you're gonna sell. So I just did everything for free, and then just a bunch and a bunch of viral videos, pretty much.
Yeah. How many failed attempts typically would it take to land? I know it's obviously a very grey area question, but how many failed attempts would it take to make like a really big shot? For example, if I was to play your most difficult shot, I understand I probably would. it'd take me a month or 2 months or whatever, unless I fluked it. How long would it take, like in general,
I
me
mean,
to?
you really can't tell. You really cannot tell because some people are better than others in some stuff, right?
Yeah,
Like I said, there's a various degree of luck in some of the shots, and there's a very degree of skill, right? The hardest ones are the skill shot that need luck. So it's very mathematical to me. So if I know I can do the skill part like, 8 times out of 10, and then the luck part is a few, then whatever, it's that probability, right? But now if I
yeah.
can only do the skill part 1 time out of 50, and then it's only a 1 time out of 50 for the luck part, this could take ages, right? I mean, and there's a shot that I remember we did the video with Dude Perfect. So it was a cue ball, jump into the rail. I shoot it off the air. It goes down 2 flights of stairs or whatever, and travels, like a giant warehouse length into a golf hole, like a hole in one, right? I mean, I remember this taking 3 hours and literally exploding my ferrule by like it just,
Uh, Have you got that video somewhere?
yeah, it's there. Yeah, yeah.
Right, I'm gonna
So
get that. I'm gonna try and post it straight after this now.
it's
So,
Dude Perfect video number two, I think, and it just but I mean, there's so much luck too, because you got to shoot the ball
yeah,
right, you got to hit it in the air with the right thing and get lucky, right? Now, as far
yeah.
as me goes, some really technical shot. I've tried one not that long ago for like a week straight every day, 2 3 hours. I broke like
Mm.
5 6 different mass A shaft on it, and then I realized it wasn't even that good looking, and so it sucked. But
How
as
many?
far
How
as
many?
skill goes for the shows, right? All my show stuff, it will range from easy shot that I can never miss really, to I will once every 5 to 10 shots go what I call a stupid shot, because I say I'm the only guy stupid enough to try them live, because nobody likes to miss 10 times in a row, but I sometimes
Yeah,
can afford it if I played well before that.
yeah,
Those will be like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 20. Sometimes I'll try a 1 out of 30 or 50. It depends, but you gotta feel it. It's gotta be right. The table's gotta play good. I gotta be
yeah,
in the right mind frame.
yeah, yeah. So do you know, like, the conditions of a table? What do they need to be like for, like? Obviously, I would understand that as being able to play, but for you to tell, like, an amateur player or a complete random person that doesn't play pool, what would the table need to play like for you to be able to play your best
I mean, I can
or
play on
execute the
anything.
best?
Obviously, you can adjust, but the best would be
Yeah.
brand new claws, brand new balls, as much slide as possible,
So
zero
it's as
humidity.
slippy as possible.
Yeah, zero humidity. The humidity is my biggest enemy. Like I know when we go to
Really?
Asia and stuff, this is the thing I hate the most. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
See,
absolutely.
I would never have said that would have been an issue, but
Really? No, absolutely, because it kills the
yeah,
speed, it kills the slide, it kills everything.
yeah. I suppose,
So,
like, when we play in, like, especially, like, same in Asia, it gets a bit more sticky and a bit more wet. So I presume, obviously, the balls don't spin as much for you.
yeah, you just have to hit it harder. So the more you hit it harder, the less you're precise, the more it becomes a little, there's some shots become almost impossible. I mean, there's really no way around it. And I don't cheat. All my stuff is always the right thing. It's just the right
Yeah,
ball. I don't put anything on the ball aside from basically a clean ball. And
yeah.
there's points when the physics just it doesn't
Just
work anymore, right?
don't let you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would been, like, your biggest influence growing up?
I
So
mean,
either in or outside of billiards.
for pool, in general. So when I started, I didn't know. So the reason I got where I'm at is because I didn't know what was possible, what's not, right? If you grow up when somebody coaching you and telling you this is possible, this is not, you have limitation that goes into you, right? I didn't have that. I had no idea what the limits were. So I'm seeing Semi Saginer, I'm sure you know him, Turkish
Mhm.
superstar,
Yeah,
really playing
yeah,
artistic billiards on the carom table.
yeah,
I'm fascinated by it. I see this ball spinning like crazy and whatever, but I had no idea that the carom table was that much thicker slate, that it's heated, that this thinner thing, right? So I'm trying all the carom shot on the pool table, and some of them work, for the first time ever. Somebody really went for it, right?
mhm,
And so that would be probably biggest influence would be that video back then, and then a little bit later down the road, Mike Massey, of course, because that was the guy really. And I'm not sure if you're familiar with him, but Tom Rossman, Dr. Q.
No.
He's very well known in the industry as well. He's been doing shows for the last 40 years, really. And the
Really?
first time I saw his show, I realized that you could miss and still be funny and still entertain. And I was like, oh, this is bingo. So when I put all
Perfect.
together the technical aspect from Sami Saginaw on the Massey, the stroke shot from Mike Massey, and then the funny aspect, the entertainment from Tom, it just kind of made it the ultimate combo, really.
It's the shots that I see, like on the carom tables where you get it into the corner of obviously the where the pocket would be, and it just keeps on rotating
Yeah,
into the
fascinating, right?
angles. It's incredible, even for someone of like my level to look at. It's like that's really good
I
how
mean,
they can
I
do that.
was I was that obsessed that I was putting books in the pockets and trying to recreate the shots, with the corners and stuff until I got to, experience on a carom table. Now, pretty quick after I went to a club and I kind of went to it and actually I won the Division Two like artistic billiard in France straight up first year. I just, I worked there's like a 100 shot program, whatever. I learned the shots. I won it the first year, so. That's good. Great for your game.
Yeah, I've actually played. I played one. I was in Norway once in Oslo, and I'd seen one of them tables for the first time. Never seen one. Um, and yeah, obviously it was heated, and I was playing this old guy, but I couldn't tell you his name. He could barely get down on the cue, probably like a foot and a half off the cue, and I could barely make a ball. I was trying to. Is it like two or three cushions before you had to hit the ball?
Yeah, yeah, three rail, yeah, yeah.
3 rounds, that was it. And he just after about 20 minutes, I said, "Look, that's enough, mate. I can't carry on playing because it was impossible because it was like a fraction of spin, and the cue ball just ran for like 6 foot.
I mean, it's completely opposite of the English style of play, in my opinion, because
Yeah,
it's why I like it, right, in a way, because it's got a combination of pool, but also of the trick shot, the artistry out of it. It's a little bit less
yeah,
aiming, right? So it's less on the aiming and more delivery and whatever. The strokes are important, and because those balls are bigger, you better move them right too. And
yeah,
the knowledge behind it, you just can't really invent it, right? It's just something you gotta see or play a lot to see it, right?
yeah, yeah. No, it's very impressive, and when you see the guys, it's like the one at snooker, like the billiards at snooker. The guys are getting like 1,000 break.
Yeah,
And there's a
it's pretty
couple of guys
impressive.
from the UK that are like really good at it. But if you put them in like a proper game situation, same, it just doesn't quite work. But they've found their little niche, and they're unbelievable at it, really.
I mean, I'm a firm believer that every cue sport is different in a way, right? I
Yeah,
don't think there's necessarily one that's better than the. I mean, I know well statement is like, oh, snooker is the king of the game, blah blah blah, whatever,
yeah,
right? I personally think pool is harder to win at high level because you have it's more difficult, less control over the table, right? But
yeah,
then if you talk in terms of technicality, I think three cushion is the most difficult because it's got everything. It's got the length of the table, the balls are bigger, but everybody's got their own little thing. And then of course now the Chinese table stuff is a whole different animal. But it's yeah, I like to play everything. Actually, I'm one of those guys. I enjoy playing the games, and some games I'm better than others, obviously, and that's it.
I think
Yeah.
because like the free cushion billiards isn't so famous, especially for like us in the UK, and I don't know how big it is in America, but you don't really hear too much about it apart from like, oh, this guy's won this tournament somewhere, he's won a world title, or that's all you really hear. You don't see no tour events, whereas in like China, for example, or that you've got like tour events every single month where it's a lot of money to the winner, and the WNT and US Ultimate Pool USA. They're always running tournaments that you see the top players playing all the time. So that's how they become more famous, I suppose.
I mean, actually, three cushion is the most famous game in all South America, really. Mexico is mainly played. Colombia, it's incredibly there. Chile,
Is
in
what's the
Korea, it's
one like
basically
with the
national
really really?
sport.
What's the one
Say that
with the
again.
really really small pockets?
That
Like
is
it's like
yeah, the Brazilian pool. Brazil is the only one they have their own little version of it. I've never played this game actually. Never got a chance to
No.
experience. It seems like it's more of a precise version of the game as well. But yeah, most South America is playing. Europe, we have some pockets left, of course, but in Vietnam was the main sport. I mean, Korea is the main thing. Turkey's quite a bit played, so it's still played quite a
Yeah.
lot. It's just
Yeah.
not necessarily marketed the same way or available
Publicised
to us, right?
as such.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So off completely off the subject of that, have you ever broke anything when you've been trying to like
I've broke
complete
plenty
trick
of things.
shots?
I've broke
What's the
plenty
most
of things.
valuable thing what's the most valuable thing you've accidentally broke?
I mean, the windows always suck. I just broke one last year in a pool room, actually. I was doing the longest jump record attempt in between two tables. I don't remember
Yeah.
what it is. I have it somewhere in the back here. It's pretty far. It's like, let me see if I can find it. Highest, furthest distance is at what is it? 3.20 meters.
Right.
So
So
from
that's
one
like
edge of the table to the other edge, right? So that's the
yeah, yeah,
gap in between the two tables. So you have to
yeah,
jump the ball from the side pocket to the next side pocket, lands that in
yeah.
there. So yeah, I tried. I mean, I destroyed that table. So I tried probably for like a good hour until I got it, and then yeah, bunch of times the ball just flew away, and then I packed my stuff. I looked like fuck, the window's broken. So I broke an entire window in a pool room. So yeah, that was not a cheap day. I mean, between the video guy, the table to refelt, and the window broken, that was an expensive world record.
So touching on your world records, you've got 12 Guinness World Records, right?
Currently,
What
yes, yeah.
have you got any plans to get any more, or is there
Uh,
anything you can physically do?
I don't. There's only one that I want to get back is the highest jump shots. Some kid decided to go beat it, and the
Really?
problem with that one is it destroyed my table so much that I don't want to do it again and again because it just keeps ripping the felt, and I just don't have time to do it. But eventually I'll come to it. The one I'm probably never gonna do again is the most trick shots in 48 hours. That was absolutely dumb. I played pool for 48 hours, and the difference is I didn't realize, but it's not when there's been plenty of records for pool players longest time, right? But you play the other guy sit down or whatever, right? In this case, I couldn't sit down. I had to place the ball myself, and I had to be around the table the whole time too. And you only get 5 minute break per hour completed, so it was brutal. It broke me for weeks after.
I can imagine. So what would you be like your biggest achievement in out of all of them? Which is the most you're proud about? I get that they're all virtually on a par, but it's like a world title. Once you've won one, you've won two, five, 10. They all feel the same. I know the first one would be the most special, but is the one that you're more proud about than the others, or is it just a case of that's what you wanted to do and you've achieved what you wanted to do, barring the one that lad took off you?
That's interesting because I'm actually kind of at that point in my career right now. I'm wondering what's the actual point to it, right? Is it worth it? Like, do I just try to now erase all the grades from the records and that's my only goal? Is that really worth it? I know
Hmm.
it's not gonna change anything. People don't care when you do
No.
shows anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's for personal opinion. Is that really a thing? I don't know. But I think the biggest achievement, I think he will never really be beaten at the moment, is the most views online. I don't think we can really measure that. I mean, I was the first to have the golden button from YouTube too as a pool player.
Right.
Like there's a few things that I think that are past the industry that like a Guinness World Record people, it talks to them, right?
Yeah.
But I think 5 billion views online is pretty insane.
Incredible.
Like
It's incredible.
it makes no sense, right? And I was looking at the
Mm.
numbers last year, and we're talking about Matchroom. I had as many views as Matchroom just by myself,
Yeah, incredible.
right? I mean, I think this speaks maybe more volume than a world title because,
Definitely.
you're right. Once you win one, it's like you win one and it's cool. You achieved the dream, whatever. But does it really matter? I was talking to Kelly Fisher. She stopped at the house a few weeks ago and I'm like, how many do you have? She told me some ridiculous numbers, like 15 or something.
Yeah, she's
I
won
didn't
it.
even
I think
realize
she
I won
actually
so
won
many.
it when she won the Chinese one last year in Australia. I think that was her for every single like pool English pool, snooker,
Hmm.
9 ball, 10 ball, 8 ball,
She's got one
Chinese
of
8 ball,
everything, I believe, which is
every single world champion.
incredible,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I don't think people will make a difference anymore. Yeah, she'd still be one of the greats, but they don't care if
yeah,
it's what, 15, 16, 13, you know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't know. It's an interesting thing. Obviously, as a competitor, you always want to win, right? So, but
yeah.
it's hard. I think I think for me it will be the achievement away from the sport maybe that might be the the most proud probably.
Yeah. So do you know, like, obviously when you say like your 5 billion views, the way that that is now, though, how many views do you think that would be? And I know it's 5 billion, but the way that pool's accelerated since, for example, WNT started, Ultimate Pool USA started, just in general, Chinese 8 ball started. The spotlight is like blown up really over the last since COVID, I would say. So
Yeah, I
do you
mean, and
think
the
like the five
numbers.
billion would be, is that since COVID, or do you think they would be
I mean,
eight
that's on me.
billion?
That's on my networks, right? It's on my channel. So you really can't count because people have been taking videos and reposting
I
forever, right?
suppose.
So a
Yeah, I
real
suppose
number is impossible to really put
to get
together.
anywhere
But
near. Yeah,
in controlled, with my stuff, I mean, yeah, right now probably averaging about 50 million views a month. So which is it's an insane number. But then you think in terms of what it is in China, they're beating that, right? Just because their social
yeah,
media is about 100 times bigger than ours, right? So
yeah, yeah.
it's hard to say. I think eventually like I said, I'll go down the road as probably the first pool influencer, if you want to call it. I hate that word, but I think
No,
it's
no, yeah,
really
yeah,
what it
yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. No, yeah. It's incredible, really, the numbers that you've done. It's you people don't, I don't think, quite realise that sort of figure until they'd actually say like that, where Matchroom have had that amount of views that you've had on your own.
Yeah, it just, especially when we played for a long time, back 20 years ago, there wasn't much going on. You had a few TVs and
Yeah,
here and there, but like, I was really the first one to break the mold of like hitting
yeah,
million views on content. Now it's, everybody can do it. You just gotta get
yeah.
lucky here and there. But
That's what I
I've
sort
also
of
been
meant with
doing it
like
so many
with the
years, so that's the
that's what I
difference.
sort of meant with the views side of it. Is I know you've been in the spotlight for that long, but the way that the billiard industry has accelerated recently, every like you could get now somebody that's just doing a few trick shots in the garage could get 100 million views on a video.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
Whereas
they always can.
whereas before, when you was doing it to start with, that was like unheard
Yeah.
of. Right?
Yeah, and I think that the garage stuff is great. Stuff I always tell too to me is like I can't wait for somebody to come up with something I can't do. Like I've always said, I thought I had like a 10, 15 year lifespan probably in the sports, but I've already
Yeah,
exceeded that. And
yeah,
every time I talk to people, I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna keep doing it until some kids I see come up with something new that I can't do. And to be honest, it hasn't come yet. I'm actually quite shocked. Like I thought with all the game getting so much bigger and everybody access to it and whatever, I'm looking forward to see somebody come up with some crazy stuff. But for some reason it hasn't. So I kept at it because right now I'm still the only one doing it. And yeah, it's a little shitty because now, I post a thing and some dude takes it and copy it and gets more views than me on it. It's like great, whatever. But
yeah, yeah.
it's been like that for me for 20 years, like I said. So
You
I
sort of
kind of
used to it.
gotta I made my peace with it. It's just what it is. It's like it's part of the landscape, and sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. But at the end of the day, the work ethic is what makes the difference. I was telling someone they couldn't believe me. I haven't missed a day posting on Facebook in 5 years, not one
That's,
day.
that's incredible.
Right? I mean, that's work ethic, what I mean? And you can't beat that. You can be talented, you can do what you want, you can get lucky, but
Yeah.
somebody will miss a day. I haven't. And, at the end of the day, that's the difference, right?
Yeah, I remember when I very first started, I spoke with Aaron, the pool shark.
Hmm.
Obviously, he comes start to do a little bit of English pool at the start, and he said, "Right, I'm going to do 3 videos a day for 3 months." I said, "Look, I can't quite do 3 videos, but I'm going to do 1 video a day for
Hmm.
3 months." And it was the 70th video. I remember it, that the first one that get to 1 million. and then obviously it dragged everything up with it, and then you start getting numbers a lot more quicker and easier. But every day for 5 years is like what, 1,500 days,
Yeah, I don't know.
16.
It's a natural thing. It's just there. I have my schedule. Like I don't go to bed before posting a video. That's what it is, right? And then I schedule a few here and there. But yeah, and it's been, it's been like that for years as far as I know. So
So do you know,
yeah,
like
there's
on
always
your YouTube, do you post weekly, daily? I know you post, obviously post on Facebook every day, like you said, but
YouTube was a bit of a different story because it's changed so much over the years. Started
yeah,
with short video, short form, whatever,
yeah,
right? Not necessarily good quality. I
yeah,
loved it because I could, film with my shitty camera at home, right?
yeah,
Then you had to go higher quality short videos. I loved it too because that was my really like you could get sponsors and put the table. I mean, we did some super cool stuff. I mean, we put the pool table in the desert. We put it at the airport in Vegas. We put it in a boxing club. I mean, we've done all kind of things, right? The
yeah,
only thing that approach what we could have done better would have been to get sponsored by Red Bull, but that's a different story, right? That just never they never thought pool was worth it. And
right,
then from there, it kind of changed. It went to vlogs and longer content, shittier quality. I never liked it because to me it was like a sellout thing. So
yeah,
I slowly stopped doing it there a little bit because I was like, I don't want to be a sellout. I don't want to be like a. It wasn't my thing, right? Now in retrospective, I should have milked it and taken advantage of it, but it just I didn't want to put my life on display the same way. I'm a little protective on what I show people to, and people are crazy nowadays, so it's just a weird thing.
yeah, yeah,
So then it was like kind of in a bit of no man's land there for YouTube, and then the shorts came back, and that was when I realized that this is actually perfect for us. The only thing that pissed me off is now it's vertical. And I think pool translates great horizontally, but vertically is not the greatest. So I was a
mm-hmm.
little refractor on it, but now I just kind of accepted it. And now it's vertical shorts, right? And it cycles
Yeah.
every time. You just got to follow the trends
Follow
as
the
much as
trend.
possible. And I think if I learn anything, that I'm not gonna fight the trend. If it's stupid, then so be it. I'll do it anyway.
Yeah,
If it stays relevant, then why not?
yeah, yeah, yeah. How's the trick shot community changed over the years of you starting, as of moving over with $500 in your pocket to today?
I mean, some of the old timers they hated my guts when I started, right? I mean, it was
Like a new
you
kid on the
obviously
block sort of thing.
yeah, and it's normal, right? But also I came up with new shot that they're used to, right? It used to be static. It used to be one stroke of the ball and that was it, right? Then I came up, I did the double jump. They're looking at me like I was crazy. And I did the double masse. They tried to argue that it was not possible, and I pulled it up on TV. The guy cheated on TV to make it by doing like half masses and stuff, and it was hilarious, right? But they were very protective of their thing because there's only a few of them doing shows, right? And
Hmm.
I just kind of disrupted the whole thing by putting it online available. But
Yeah,
what it did too is I think personally it got the level higher because now it's all available. People see the double jump becomes a normal thing. So
yeah,
now the next thing is the triple or the quadruple, whatever, right? So it just kind of to me it helped to push the limits. And I don't think I've ever seen that many people doing trick shots now than nowadays. It's crazy. Like every other pool videos is somebody trying something. It's this or like some
yeah,
tutorials or something, right? I mean, for a minute it was drills, and now it's all trick shots again, and
yeah,
it's great. The problem is a lot of not all of them, right? But a few of those guys they think very highly of themselves as soon as they post an easy trick shot video. But it's quite a different level to be able to do it on video and do it live or in a tournament, right? And I had to
yeah,
prove that myself, right? When I started, I was like, oh yeah, I can do it on video, I can do it. But if you can't do it in 3 attempts in front of a crowd with different conditions, it's a whole different, problem. So in order to be the complete guy, you really have to do all of it. And right now, as much as the community is huge for the trick shots, like I say, everybody's doing it the tournament stuff, we're still struggling because when people realize they have to learn, the book shot for the book program is 120 shots, and they're not easy. You're gonna spend hours and years really to get to know it, and they change every so often, right? So 3 attempts, you can't reset, you can't cheat, you have zones, you have, so it's not easy. Even as a top guy, like it would take you weeks to really learn to do decent, right? Now, of course, stroke and whatever is going to be more of a natural thing, but there's a few things you can't bypass, right? So once those guys realize there's a lot of work to it, they kind of don't want to commit to the tournaments aspect. And of course, there's not a lot of money either, so it's really you're doing it for the fun, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
So do you know like the World Championships? Say you said there's like 120 shots. Do you know what would be the format of the event then? The scoring system,
Yeah, so
the
so we have
entries.
different
What is?
disciplines, all right? So
Yeah.
you have 8 disciplines. The eighth ones, for example, is mass eight, the seventh is jump, then sixth stroke, bank and kick, special arts like mix of whatever, setup shot, trick and fancy, stuff like that, right? So
Mhm.
you have all those 8 disciplines. In between them, then 3 shots are difficulty level 6, then 3-7, 3-8, 3-9, and 3-10. 6 the easy, 10 the hard ones, right? So for the book shots, so we have a preliminary when we play 40 shots. So one per difficulty level, you get to pick one of the 3, and you play the 6, the 7, the 8, the 9, the 10. And then at the end of the all 40, whoever's got the highest total points is the top seed, right? Then we have playoff when top seed play the last seed and all this stuff, right? Or whatever, top 16, depending how many we get. Um, and that becomes a head-to-head format. When you pick a discipline, you pick a shot in there, could be a 10 points. The other guy's got to make it to make the same amount of points or not. Oh yeah, also attempt-wise. So let's say you have a 10 points. First attempt is 10, second attempt's 9, third attempt's 8, 0 for a miss. So it goes pretty quick if you miss a shot, right? So you really got to know them. And then
Yeah.
because of the playoffs, you have to know 120 shots in 3 attempts. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And some of them are difficult. Some of them is knowledge based. Some of them is stroke based. So then you need to know the players. And then this
Would
year,
would you would you pick someone like, for example, if we played?
mhm.
Obviously, I know I've got no chance at 99% of the shots, but would you pick a shot that you know I couldn't play? Is that an obvious thing to do?
Probably, yeah. If and sometimes you guess it wrong, right? Because the other guy practiced them forever or whatever, but
Yeah.
you've seen it in a different space and he was missing it. But usually it's a style thing. I mean, for me, I love my stroke shot, I love my masse, right? So people are gonna
Yeah.
try to pick anything but that.
But
But
that.
if I play somebody, that would be my go-to, right? Jump, the masse, the moving stuff. Like for pool players, usually I would go close strokes, right? To 2 millimeter draws and stuff like that. They're very weird. The moving jump shots very weird for you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Mass eight depends, right? Some of them are very good stroke and
Yeah.
draw and follow. Like I would avoid because usually you guys know what you do with your cue balls. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
for example, you could set up like a shot that demands a bunch of balls together. You may not know it, and if you don't practice it,
No.
you cannot guess it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then this year, yeah, we just created a new format. Actually, we just got approved by WPA for a freestyle event.
Okay.
So this time it's so we still have like a book program of like 40 shots, base shots, and then every player's playing submitting a couple shots of themselves, so new shots, and then it's just head to head, one ball. I mean, one shot make 1 point, one miss 0, and you alternate for some amount of shots. And then we also have one wild card in there when you just come up with a shot that nobody has seen on paper and just come up with it. So it's kind of exciting. So we have yeah, 2 world championships this year, and I've had a friend of mine. We've been going at it for like the last 2 years to make it happen. So we'll see how it goes.
Is there anybody that you actually practice? Do you practice with anybody at it, or is it just solely whatever you think of in your head and you relay it on your table?
Yeah, it's just there's no real.
I know
So
you
it's very
can't really have a practice session with somebody, but is there
not really
anybody
because
that's
you also
close to
don't
you
want to
that
you don't
give
want to give them
anybody?
pointers, right? I mean, you can, but like there's a few things you want to know better than them. So I mean, obviously we're not super protective, but if you're practicing, you're gonna be. It's very detailed. Like I'm gonna have my diagram. I know where my ball, my cue ball is, left, right, how much English, the object ball aiming, everything is, and when I go through my notes, I'm supposed to be able to do from complete scratch and just make it from there.
Yeah, I think it's something that you don't really appreciate until you see it live. That
Yeah, and
the
and
skill
that's
I
why.
get on the internet, you only see what I do actually like about what you do is when you post the videos and you go like miss, 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 get it. Whereas a lot of people, it's just I got that. How many times? Oh, it took me 3. It took me.
Yeah,
Oh, that
yeah.
was first. When you're like, come on, you know it didn't.
that was my fight, man. Like a lot of the times it was first off, trick shot never got respected. I don't know why. It's just well, actually, I know why. There's a story to it, right? It's because for you guys, you had to play pool and then you had to do an exhibition, then you had to do a few shots. You didn't want to do, but you had to entertain, right?
Hmm.
For me, it was always like it was a completely different discipline, so I never cared that I had to play normal pool before or whatever. So the few before us, they didn't really respect it because they thought it was no skill, just set up shots, and if you knew what to do or whatever, right? But then the new generation realized that, man, the masses and stuff, it's a real skill, those things. And then the more I'm doing this, the more like I've seen, I'm sure you've seen it. We invite people to the channel all the time, and they
Yeah,
they
yeah.
come to the house and they come back. They have a whole new respect for it, and
No, no,
it's amazing actually because but it's a job, right? It's the
of
same way
course.
that I'm not gonna bullshit people and say, oh yeah, I can beat Shane Van Boning all the time. Like, no, I have no chance. But in the
Hmm.
same time, at my game, yeah, he's got no chance either, right? And
Of
I think
course.
the mutual respect really helped over the years, and this is what I've been fighting for, and it's so specialized now that yeah, it's a job, right? And it's
Yeah,
so
I
good.
definitely
It's great.
think I definitely think the top players especially appreciate the top players in their field. They understand that even like it's come from Chinese now, where a lot of the snooker players like come over to play in the Chinese event. I was at that event that Ronnie played in last month,
Yeah, the big one.
and
Yeah,
yeah, I spoke a couple of times, and he said, "Look, I totally appreciate the level of these guys are like the proper players." But it's coming from him. It's like
I mean, yeah, it's
before,
yeah,
it's like, "Oh, it's Paul. That's going to be." You know what I mean? But he was playing like 10, 12 hours a day every day,
to
and he
figure.
was really trying. And
Yeah,
he said like he knew he wasn't quite at the mark, but he really enjoyed it. And he said, look, the level of respect I've got for the guys is like incredible, really. Just like what you're doing. If you was to play him, he'd look at you and go, what have you just done there? Like what? How did you hit that ball?
I mean, I've,
Because
I've
it's
you know I've done shows with snooker players. I mean, I've done one with Stephen Hendry. I mean, Stephen
yeah,
Hendry, right? That's the
yeah,
guy, right?
legend. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
it's amazing actually. They're shocked too, and but it's mainly because we don't really necessarily know each other thing, and it's this, But once you start to feel about it and you start to touch up a lot, you're like, man, this is not easy, right? And
no,
I think this is what's great about Q Sports, right? And it's in general, and but I think I've worked hard to get this respect, and I think we finally have it now. But
definitely.
yeah, like you would have fun too. That's the thing. I keep it fun too. Like
Yeah,
it's like everybody that comes here, they got to make it, and we'll find what you like or what you don't like, right? And sometimes somebody, I mean, somebody is monsters, and I didn't even know. Like I had the Spanish guy Jonas Asudo not long ago,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it's very interesting because the kid grew up watching me. I didn't
Okay.
realize that. I'm pretty old now, I guess, you know what I mean? So, but I mean, it's like it feels like it, right? So it's like, oh yeah, yeah, I'm watching when I was 8 years old. I'm like, what? Like, but yeah, he's barely 20 plus, right? And so for him, the speed shot and stuff was natural because he saw them
Yeah,
all the time. I'm like, that's crazy, right? I
yeah,
go to like somebody that's in his 50s and they have not even a chance at it. And for him,
yeah,
it was natural. So in his brain, he just kind of got naturally in there, and it's the next
yeah,
step of it, right? And I think what you say with Ronnie is the same thing, right? Once you start to understand it, they just never really practiced it, they never played it, they never looked at it. But once you
no,
do, different story.
yeah, because like that, like a few of the other top snooker players have come over and tried as well. And barring Mark Selby, he lost in the final of one of the events, like in
But,
17.
but Mark played pool. I mean, English 8 ball before is just a big
Yes,
difference.
that's what I
So,
was going to say. He won the world title at English 8 ball before he won any big snooker tournaments, I think. So yeah, he obviously had the background of patterns and the 8 ball background, which obviously helped him. But yeah, like some of the snooker guys that come over, that you can instantly tell that they put all the balls, and then like there'll be like that sticky moment where we would play a safety shot or cover a pocket. They just it's but then you play a snooker against them and they can give you 60, 70 starts at snooker. So it's just
but I mean,
same
even
applies
even
really, isn't it?
stroke wise, I mean, not to talk, bad on snooker players, but I don't think they have the greatest stroke, right? They're precise, amazing precise. But like for example, when I play with Stephen Hendry, there's a few stroke shot I had no chance. No
Is
chance
it?
at it. It just didn't have the energy and the back, the back arm speed and whatever, right?
I think that's the
Uh,
big thing with the breaking as well of the
uh-huh.
ball, because like they're only used to really like hitting that firm stun shot,
And
like
that's it. You're
high on
right.
black or high on the blue into the pack. That's about as hard as they hit it. Where when we're hitting hitting the break, it's like 70-80% speed. For them, that's like 40-50% speed. But you can tell they're trying to hit it hard. They just haven't got that like power
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, it's again, every cue sports is a different thing. You got to respect every single game, but
Of course.
some of them more specialized than others. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, snooker is a lot more predictable. That's why the better player usually comes out on top. To pool, I mean, how
Mm-hmm.
many can win an event right now? It's ridiculous. And
Yeah.
there's like a
Yeah.
thousand Chinese players that I don't even know that are
The,
monsters. And I'm like, where'd they come
all of
from?
them.
Who's this guy?
And they're only getting younger all the time as well.
I know. It's
That's what
actually
I was going to say.
scary.
Do you think like the next person to come out of the pack for you would be Chinese, maybe?
That I was thinking about it, but somehow I think I mean, there's a couple guy that really pushed it, but it never. The problem with the Chinese mentality, I'm thinking, is they don't necessarily have the creativity beside it. They are really good
No,
at
like
reproducing and
robots.
spending the hour, but not
Yeah,
necessarily inventing. I think this
yeah,
is maybe more of a what they call the Western style thing, right? So I think this is the only reason they hasn't really come up because you'd think, and then of course the table, the widely available Chinese table is quite difficult for trick shot. A few things
yeah,
changes, so it makes
yeah,
the barrier of entry even harder, in my opinion. Like I can
yeah,
do a full show on a Chinese table. It's not a problem.
yeah,
You just got to get used to it. It jumps higher, it jumps easier.
yeah.
But it's still, and the claws being what it is, it marks faster, so you'd have to commit resources a little more maybe.
Hmm.
So no, I'm not for them. I mean, I'm sure if somebody were to practice and do only that one of those monster with their perfect stance, their perfect stroke, yeah, I mean, it would have,
Probably going
it'd
to
have
get
to
it.
be.
So basically, the next person that's probably going to take over you from is probably going to be like an AI, something to do with that.
Well, actually, this is the main problem we're having right now. This is a huge
Yeah,
problem. There's a couple guys I won't name here, but that they actually are using it too, and I know for a fact.
really.
Yeah, it's actually annoying because it's always been a thing like, oh, this is fake. So we even had a disclaimer before about how, no shots are fake, blah blah. But before it was not a problem because people knew like nobody's gonna spend Hollywood money to make a fake trick shot video. But now with AI, it's a little different, and I'm a little afraid on this actually because even every day I'll get a comment says AI, AI. Like, no, it's not AI. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
work and practice. But who
yeah,
knows?
yeah. Crazy, really, and especially with what they are doing with that sort of stuff,
Mhm.
they can make it look so realistic. And
Yeah, I mean, even for us, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference, but like you could see the
yeah,
speed of the balls, but you got to have an educated eye, and
yeah,
the better this thing is going to be, the worse it's going to get.
like
So,
you could tell straight away, right? But if
yeah,
I was
yeah.
looking at it, probably I'd think like, oh, like that's a great shot, whereas
Well,
you'd know instantly.
let's just say it this way. This guy I'm talking about, I think a few years back, Fedor reposted a video of him. So I messaged Fedor like, hey, it's fake, right? He's like, no, I had no idea, and there you go, right? That's how
Oh, all
hard
right.
it is to visualize. Yeah.
Mm. What's one bit of advice that stuck with you from basically your whole career?
Um, I mean, for me, I don't know. I mean, hard work beats talent all day, I think. I don't think there's anything else.
Yeah,
As far as stroke goes, my secret is really the speed of the arm. That's it. I've worked
yeah,
everything to get the fastest speed, delivery, and that's really all my secret is. The rest is just practice.
yeah. That's good. It's it is a very it's incredible, really, what you do, and it's one of them things that you could sort of watch it for hours on end and be like, what's happened there?
I mean, like I've said, to people, I don't think I have necessarily a talent for the game. The only talent I may have is the creativity, right? That I can't
Creativity
really
side.
explain it because I invented
Yeah,
like so many shots, like I think 10,000 something. That I can't explain. The rest, I think if everybody does it the same way, I think more talents, they will do better probably on some of the stuff. But you know, it does, yeah, at the end of the day, if you work harder, it matters.
Mhm. Do you ever have like a light bulb moment where you're sitting down on your sofa or whatever, and then all of you you think, I wonder if I can do that, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
do you put certain amount of time into like, this is what I'm going to do, this is my studying time, and then try and execute, or is it just a case of you're sitting there thinking, I wonder if I can do that, and then go and try it, and then you realise you can or you can't?
Yeah, it's a bit of everything. So piece one is take an old shot and like make
Yeah,
it harder. Then
yeah,
number two is like sometimes it comes out of misses, like it's
mhm,
like a miss and it happens. I'm like, wow, this could make something, right? Very few times the fluke will come into play. Like, man, can I redo that fluke, right? Then
yeah,
the rest is literally just trying new combination, new things, adding an extra curve, adding an extra rail. I mean, I've got a
mhm.
book when I just put diagrams. Sometimes it comes when I'm sleeping. I just think of something stupid and there we go. It's getting harder and harder, don't get me wrong, but I still, every time I think I'm done, I still come up with something, and it's
What was
just a
something
weird.
else?
I think at the end of the day now, it's going to be the material that limits me, right? I would like to see, for me, thicker slate, maybe a little bit of
Yeah.
thinner cloths again for pool, and
Mhm.
see if I can push the limit a little bit more. But if I go thin cloth, then I can't get jumps, right? So it's like it slides too much. So, but the slate I think is, eventually if I could get a thicker slate heated table, we might be onto the next thing. But that's just getting really nuts, right? So,
How many cloths do you go through a year?
uh, every 3 months to 5 months, I'll change it usually. It's actually not so bad. It really depends, right? It depends the shots. Most masses, I don't do anything to it because it's a vertical shot, so it leaves a burn mark like on the break,
Yeah,
right? The
yeah.
problem is when you have those one with angles, then it
Mhm.
becomes tricky, and that can just cut the felt, and then in 5 minutes you've got a giant hole.
Mhm.
But like for
What
show,
about
for example, I never put holes in there, right? Because I just pick the shots that are correct.
yeah, yeah. What about cues? How many of them have you been through in your career?
I don't know. I've broke everything. I've broke a shaft in half. I've broke ferrules every so often. Tips, we don't want to talk about it. It's every three
You
months,
you
same
with
thing.
you with QTech, right?
Yeah.
And have you got any specialist cues with them, or is
The
it pretty
only
standard?
so
And
the
then
only
you make what?
special cue is the mass AQ, right? So that's a
Right.
25-ounce cue.
Yeah.
The shaft is different. So this is right now we're using Kevlar. So they were familiar with it. It took us a bunch of times to get a nice shaft that works.
Hmm.
Because Kevlar has got flexible enough, but it's solid enough that it doesn't break. And carbon
Doesn't
just
snap there.
doesn't do it. It's too rigid, right?
Right.
But speaking of QTech, the next thing they really love is send me a bunch of stuff to test. So I'm like the main tester, and
Yeah.
every time if it works for me and I don't break it, then usually it works
Then
for
it's good
everybody
enough for
else.
the public. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Right now we're testing, yeah, new kind of jump cues and stuff, and new handles, new everything, and I have stuff everywhere. It's like a mad scientist factory, really.
It's one of them things where, like, because I've not got I've not got like a proper jump cue. I've just got a standard one. But when you pick up a jump cue that is a proper jump cue, it's so much more easier
Oh,
to jump.
game changer.
Yeah, I sort of, even the brakes, even like the brake equipment now, it's getting so much easier to brake with the equipment.
I mean, when I started, we had really crappy jump cues, right? And just
Yeah,
most of it you had to do is just using the shaft when you're getting close and stuff like that. Now
yeah.
with the carbon fiber stuff, it's amazing. I mean, I just did yesterday. I tried that new thing, and I have object ball first diamond whatever in a line, cue ball to the short rail. I'm able to
Hmm.
jump a diamond away, really those balls into the full corner, the full length, and draw straight back. So full table draw is a jump. Unreal. In a full ball, not like a half
Yeah,
jump, right? We used to do
yeah,
this on a full cue and half jumps, but
yeah.
now a full jump cue can jump a ball and draw straight back 9 feet. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Obviously, there's skill to it. Not everybody can do it, but the fact that the material allows it is insane to me.
Yeah, yeah. And you can tell where, like, I was speaking to someone else on another episode, and like when you snookering the players, like for example, Baby Co. I played him
Yeah.
at the UK Open,
Good luck with
and
that.
mate, a full ball snooker wasn't even a snooker.
No, it
You had
needs
to
to
be like
be.
up the back of a ball.
Yeah, it needs to be
Yeah,
half a ball or less, really now,
yeah,
because I mean, with my Q-Tech Propel, I jump a full ball, no problem. It's not even the question. Like
Yeah,
it's a guarantee we'll jump over. Now we'll make the ball,
yeah,
different story, but it's a
yeah.
guarantee
But
we'll
that's
jump
where like
over.
Fedor obviously has took the game to another level of basically the ball in front of him is not even there.
I mean, those new generations, the jumping ability is insane. But again, they grew up watching it. To them, it's normal. They grew up
It's
with it, right?
normal.
For us, it moved. It was not there. It didn't even
Yeah,
exist, right? Like
yeah,
to us, a good safety was a ball out. Two balls was good enough. A
yeah,
diamond, people were jumping it, but less, and
yeah.
now it's like, yeah, you have to be frozen. And
Well, like
it's
English
amazing.
pool, you're not allowed to jump at English pool.
Yeah.
So for me, it was like when I played like a bit of American pool, but not to any sort of great level. So I use like a break jump cue, which is obviously you could tell straight
Yeah, you
away how
cannot.
bad that is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when I started playing Chinese more, I obviously got a proper jump
Yeah,
cue,
you
and
got to. Mhm.
it's good, but it's not quite like a proper Q-Tech
Yeah.
one or like a Predator one or whatever.
Now the good news is Chinese table jumps easier, right? Because of the
Yes.
floss, because it's thicker and then the slate is thicker, right?
A lot
So
of the times I jump with my brake cue.
yeah, because it's enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, if it's like a little like a pop over it, I use the short stick. But if it's anything over like if the ball's within a foot of the object ball, I just use my brake cue and jump over it.
Well, what's amazing to me is we went from like basically if you touch the ball, you're good, right? That was a good thing. To now you basically have to make the ball on top of the jump too. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
accuracy that got in there is quite amazing. But it's like everything else. There's little tricks. Yeah, it's I'll still show up most of those guys on the jump queue. But as far as making balls, potting them, they just got better. It's amazing actually. They're everything just like dart style or whatever. Or I'm much better still. But
Mhm.
when we start to, or even power shots, like full 9, 10 feet jumps, I can do
Yeah.
it better. Just the technique. But as far as aiming the balls, oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know how people got so good at it. It's crazy.
Yeah. 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 So if this is a question that I ask all of the people that come on, what if you could have a meal with somebody that's past or present? It could be a family member or anything, or it could be the most famous superstar. Who would it be and why?
That's hard to say, man. That's
You don't have to be one. It could be like a couple or three or whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, man. Like, it would have to be, man. Mosconi would have to be pretty cool. Willie
Yeah.
Mosconi, I think that would be the man. I never got to meet him, so that would have been that would be a cool one.
Yeah. 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 No, it's one of them minutes that whatever people have in their sport, and obviously, like he was a legend, wasn't he, in the billiard industry, and you'd have maybe Ronnie or something like that. But it's yeah, it's interesting to see what some people say footballers, some people say like
Hmm.
grandparents or whatever that they've lost and stuff. But yeah, but no, all in all, it's been a pleasure to have you on, and I
Yeah, same
appreciate
here.
your
Yeah.
time.
I tell you what, though, if you make a trip to the U.S. and want to stop by in Vegas, you're more than welcome. The
No,
table is available and the challenge
I'm
is open. So, yeah.
definitely not a challenge, but I'm definitely gonna come
Well, you don't have a
whenever,
choice. If you're
whenever.
coming here, you got to
No,
record. That's part of the
of
deal.
course, no, no, no. I definitely would. I definitely would.
But it's
No,
a fun thing, and you always learn something. And who knows, maybe one of your big match comes in handy, and it's
yeah,
amazing what you can learn sometimes out of it too. And I think it'll
yeah,
be
yeah.
fun. So yeah.
No, no. I definitely would appreciate to come and watch it, and like I definitely like some of your videos that you do with like you say Sota and I've seen one with Delgado because he
Oh
plays
yeah, yeah,
Chinese a bit.
yeah, yeah.
He went and so yeah, I would definitely have like a challenge and stuff with you.
Yeah, he's a great three cushion player, by the way, as well. Yeah, Alberto is
Really?
yeah, yeah, he's that's also why his stroke is so good. But I do have the carom table available too, so we could play all stuff. The only thing I don't have
Yeah,
is the Chinese table yet.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah. They just actually Joy just announced that I know obviously it's miles from you, but in New York in August
They have a
they've
thing?
announced a Chinese 8 ball tournament.
Yeah, not my game, unfortunately. It's
Mm.
well, I mean, I can play okay, but like let's just say it this way: my Chinese manager beats me in Chinese table, so it's kind of it's kind of funny. That's
How,
he's
how
granted he's a great player, you know, he's an ex-Taiwanese pro, so we're not
okay.
talking like
Yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Everybody, but like for real, he will just kick my ass. So
What would be like the difficulty style wise of you playing on a Chinese table of playing on an American table?
well, for me, it's just the precision. Like,
It's just the pocket size.
yeah, the way the game is, it's just a different animal. You got to play more
Yeah,
center ball. The short is the stroke is a short. I like to be long and wild, right, for what I need. This is
yeah,
a different stroke. It's a shorter, pokier
mhm,
stroke.
yeah,
I have to really think about it. I have to really change my style, and I don't. I feel very restricted. It's almost like you know, you're trying to play soccer, but you can only walk. You can't run, right? And it's a bit of what it feels like it to me, and it just it's difficult. You can't be that wild, and for me, it's not the easiest. As far as the show goes, I can adjust it obviously, and
mhm,
you know I can do
yeah,
a great show on it. But to play, oh man, it's a different animal. Yeah,
yeah. Like I say, I appreciate your time, and
sounds great.
I'll hopefully see you in Vegas, and we'll
Yeah,
have
invitation's open, and hopefully the heat don't kill you before that out there.
a no. Nice one. Thanks for your time, mate.
All right, have a good one, man.
Cheers. Thank you.